So many of us have this idea that if we love God enough or have enough faith, nothing bad should touch us. But then it does, and we become disillusioned with God or angry and resentful. When you read passages like Psalm 91, it feels super confusing because when it says no harm will overtake you and then harm happens, we wonder, God, why didn't you prevent this? Did I not have enough faith? That's when doubt creeps in, and it reinforces our lack of trust in God to come through for us next time. It's crucial to not have just an understanding of the context of Scripture, but also the context of God. If we misunderstand God's heart, then we'll misunderstand his promise. When we know his character, suddenly Scripture makes more sense. Sometimes we think of the stories in the Bible and we want those same miracles to happen in our lives, but we miss the bigger picture. In the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, we know they were delivered from the furnace, but we tend to miss the reality that they still went through the furnace. Scripture doesn't give us the details of how it felt walking into the furnace. Daniel wasn't delivered from experiencing the lion's den. He wasn't ripped apart by lions, but he was still thrown into a dark, disgusting lion's den. Joseph wasn't kept from the deep betrayal by his brothers and being sold as a slave, having to go to a foreign land alone, eventually getting falsely accused of something and thrown into a gross dungeon. And of course, Jesus wasn't kept from the cross. God doesn't always keep us from the fire. He does meet us in it. Therefore, God's protection doesn't always mean prevention, but it's the deepest kind of protection because it produces a type of abundant light and growth that would never have happened without it. God is so infinitely wise that he's able to weave every single detail, not just in our lives, but in all of history, to work together for our good. We see scriptures like, what you intended for harm, God meant for good. My fire for God came from going through the furnace with God. It was in the suffering that I stopped believing in a distant, performance-based God. It was in pain that I learned that God doesn't abandon. It was in all hell breaking loose in my life that I was able to see that God doesn't lose his grip on me. Our faith will grow when we keep the right perspective of who God is. Sometimes we get angry at God because we believed this version of him that promised an insulation from evil instead of intimacy in it. Psalm 91 isn't a contract that nothing bad's going to happen, but it's a promise that even the fire of hell can't touch your soul. The furnace didn't destroy Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, but when they were going through it, it revealed the fourth man in the fire. That thing that felt like proof that God left actually becomes the place you know him most deeply. Do not let the fire burn out your trust in God. Let it forge it.